After my company went public, I received 60 million yuan worth of shares. I am financially free. So I go home and joke with my parents that the company laid me off. I tell them I plan to mooch off them. To my shock, that very same day, my parents transfer every piece of property they own to my younger brother. They even announce they are moving in with him and tell me to go rent my own place. My girlfriend also seizes the chance to break up with me. I smile and agree to everything. Every single demand. The 60 million yuan? Not a single word. Mom, Dad, the reason I came back so suddenly is because the company laid me off. Can you support me for a while? Looking at their frozen faces, I am just about to laugh and say, just kidding, scared you didn't I? But then I see my father tug on my mother's sleeve. The two of them give me stiff, forced smiles. It's fine, resting for a bit is good too. Ethan, go to your room and rest. Your mom and I need to step out for a bit. With that, they rush into their bedroom. Worried they took me seriously, I walk over to explain, but then I hear my father's voice through the door. Ethan lost his job. He's just gonna lie around here. He must be planning to mooch off us. That won't do, honey. While he still doesn't know how much we have saved up, let's hurry and transfer all our money and properties to Kevin. That way Ethan can't lay claim to anything. My mother's voice sounds hesitant. All the properties? But there is one apartment. It's under our name, but Ethan bought it himself. It's his wedding home. Just take it like that? Is that really okay? My father snaps back impatiently. If it's in our name, it's ours. He has a proper job in the city and he's the elder son. What's wrong with thinking about his brother? As for the wedding home, he can just work harder and buy another one, can't he? I'm just afraid Ethan will feel we're playing favorites. Playing favorites? We're his parents. We raised him. Besides, he's unemployed now, isn't he? Giving that house to Kevin is basically saving it for him. Otherwise, he'll get lazy, stop going to work, and squander it all. Then what? My mother thinks it over and finally nods. All right, I'll tell Kevin not to say anything stupid. I lean against the door outside, give a bitter, self-mocking smile, and return to my own room. I know it. Ever since I was a child, my parents have always loved Kevin more, because I was raised by my grandpa while Kevin grew up by my parents' side. From a young age, my parents always told me, you are the elder son. The eldest brother is like a father. Right or wrong, you must always give in to your younger brother. We work so hard to earn money, getting up early and staying up late for you. We have no choice but to leave you back hometown. Your school records are already there. Transferring would hurt your studies. You stay back home. We still have to take care of your little brother. I understood how hard it was for my parents, so after my first year of college, I never spent another cent of theirs. I even worked part-time jobs to pay for Kevin's tuition. After graduation, I worked hard for nearly 8 years. I finally saved enough to buy a 2-bedroom apartment back home, planning to use it as a wedding home with my girlfriend. But Kevin said not to waste my first-time buyer status. He told me to put it under our parents' names, in case I ever got the chance to buy one in the capital. I thought, it doesn't matter, we are family after all, so I agreed. Who knew that even back then they were already scheming against me? This time I came back because I wanted to surprise them. The company I had invested in went public. My dividend is over 60 million yuan, with more dividends to come every single year. I am financially free. I was thinking of coming home to talk with Mom and Dad about buying a villa, getting Kevin a few storefronts, buying him a car, and leaving each of them several million yuan for their retirement, so their lives would be easier, and the whole family could go on a trip together. How wonderful would that be? So I just wanted to play a little joke. I would scare them by saying I wanted to mooch off them, then tell them our family had struck it rich. But the one who got the real shock turned out to be me. Hearing my parents talk like that stunned me. But I believe my brother Kevin, he wouldn't. Ever since we were kids, anything good I had, I gave to him first. I basically raised him myself. He and I have such a good relationship. He would never agree to something so selfish from our parents. Before long, my parents speak to me with feigned concern. Ethan, it's fine. You've been working so hard for years. Now that you're home, just rest. Your dad and I are heading out for an errand. Just text me for what you want for dinner. If I hadn't heard their conversation, I never would have imagined that the parents acting so concerned about me are actually scheming against me at every turn. Just then, my mother's phone rings. I hear Kevin's voice on the other end. Mom, what's so urgent? Why do I have to go to the property office? My mother quickly walks aside with the phone. Just go when I tell you to go. My father steps sideways to block my view, smiling. You rest first. We're heading out. I smile, saying nothing. Then, while they aren't paying attention, I quietly follow behind them. Sure enough, I see them pull Kevin aside on the road. I sneak around the corner to listen and watch them repeat everything they said to Kevin. After hearing it, Kevin frowns deeply. Mom, Dad, you can't do this. How can you treat Ethan this way? My mother quickly tugs on Kevin's sleeve. Oh, Kevin, your elder brother has no job now, and he's just going to stay at home. Who knows how long he'll rest? What if he burns through all his savings and then expects us to support him? Then how will you buy a house or pay for a wedding later? Seeing this, my father nods along. Exactly. So many young people these days mooch off their parents. We have to be careful. And what's wrong with this? It's our stuff. The house is in our name. We can give it to whoever we want. Better to give it to you than let him waste it. My mother chimes in again. Your brother makes money in the capital. Once he sees there's nothing left here, he'll just stay a few days and go back to grind it out again. We don't need to worry about him. Kevin still hesitates. But we met his girlfriend. Aren't they talking about getting married? At least that apartment was supposed to be the wedding home. Are you going to transfer that one to me too? Oh, wedding home, your brother doesn't even have a job anymore. What woman would want to be with him? You're different. If you have no money and no house, finding a wife will be even harder, won't it? But what if my brother finds out? My father pauses for a moment. Then he gives a cold snort. So what if he does? We're his parents after all. All these years Ethan has been so obedient to us, never talks back. A child being filial to his parents is just the way it should be. Even if he finds out, he'll understand our intentions. He won't blame us. This is just pushing him to develop himself. My mother also speaks up. Right. How can a young man rest all the time? Your brother should think about it. To support him through school, your father and I struggled so hard outside. So what if he finds out? What can he do? Pick a fight with us? Then he'd just be an ungrateful child. At this point, my father gets even angrier. If it weren't for your grandfather forcing me back then, your brother should have dropped out long ago. What's the point of a country kid going to school for so long? He's a boy who didn't start working at like 13 or 14. If your grandfather weren't so stubborn, your brother would have been out earning money long ago. Right, country kids grow up early. Those years working outside really wore us out. My mother glances at the time and quickly says, Kevin, let's go. Hurry to the transfer office. When we get back, don't say anything in front of your brother. I watch Kevin's lips open silently, then close, before he finally nods. Fine, I got it, but just remember, this was your idea. My brother might be back just to rest. If he goes back to the capital and makes more money, I'm still waiting for him to buy me a car. Don't make him hate me. Oh, you don't need to tell us. We've already thought it through. I watch this family of mine, smiling happily as they walk away. I lean against the wall, cover my eyes with one hand, and slowly let out a bitter laugh. The moment I got that money, my first thought was to come home and tell them, so we could all live a good life. I wanted to share that happiness with them. I thought we were a family. But them, they never saw me as family. Only Kevin is their child. What am I? Just someone they manipulate. When things are calm, a few sweet words from them and everything is supposed to be fine. From high school on, I never spent a single cent from home. I went to school by day and worked as a waiter at night because I didn't want to add to their burden. Every day I wore hand-me-down clothes and shoes that didn't fit, while Kevin had so many new clothes he couldn't wear them all. They told me to understand. Kevin grew up in the county town. He was used to spending freely. I was the older brother. I should give in to him, spoil him. I listened, and I did. I thought, being the older brother, I should be the responsible one. I thought mom and dad didn't care about me because I was independent enough. I never imagined they simply couldn't be bothered to waste time on me. Saying I wanted to mooch off them was just a joke. But this joke made me face a reality I had spent years refusing to admit. Still, it's not too late to wake up. At least the money is still in my hands. That evening, the whole family sits down at the dinner table. They exchange glances. Then my mother speaks first. Ethan, you've worked hard outside all these years. I know you came home to rest, but things at home really aren't good. I keep my eyes down, eating, saying nothing. Then my father clears his throat and joins in. So we tried doing a little business before, and we ended up losing everything. This house is being taken back. Ethan, your mom and I have no money left. We have to move in with your brother in his rental place. But the place is too small. So you see, this week you should move out and find your own place to stay. They expect me to be shocked, to ask question after question. They're ready, prepared to explain in detail. But all I do is nod. Got it. I'll pack up and move out. I don't care what lies they want to tell me. I no longer care, just as I won't tell them about the 60 million yuan. Over the next couple of days I finish packing. Just as I'm about to leave, to my surprise, my girlfriend Vivian actually shows up at my hometown. My parents are also packing up the house these days. They're very surprised to see her at the door. Oh, Vivian, you're here. The house is a bit messy. Sit down for a bit. Vivian nods, glancing around the room with a faint look of disgust, then covers her nose. Seeing my parents are right there, I can't tell her in detail what happened. I just ask curiously, Vivian, what brought you here so suddenly? You said yesterday you needed to see me. Didn't I tell you I'd be back in a couple of days? Why didn't you let me pick you up? Aren't you tired? Before I can finish, Vivian softly cuts me off. Ethan, I'm in a bit of a hurry. Then she glances at my parents. I get it instantly, so I pull Vivian into my room and close the door. Vivian, let me get you a glass of water. Let's break up. Hearing that, I freeze instantly. I turn back in disbelief. Vivian, why is this so sudden? I even have good news to tell you. I said, let's break up. Vivian's tone is firm. I take a deep breath and sit down beside her, feeling drained. Vivian and I met through a friend. Like me, she came from out of town to make a life in the capital. With our circumstances, staying in the capital was incredibly hard. So we planned to grind for a few more years, then settle down in a smaller city. Another year or two, and we'd have enough saved. We were planning to get married. I knew her mother didn't like me, but I never expected her to break up with me so suddenly. Just as I'm about to mention being financially free, Vivian cuts me off impatiently. Ethan, you're truly useless. After grinding in the capital for so many years, you can't even afford one apartment. The words I'm about to say get stuck in my throat upon hearing this. Vivian, that's not because I'm useless. An apartment in the capital costs 20 million yuan. How can an ordinary worker afford that? Vivian, you're also from out of town, grinding it out in the capital. You should understand. Vivian gives a cold laugh. Stop making excuses for your own incompetence. Enough. I don't want to waste words with you. I came here to make a clean break. I won't beat around the bush. Ethan, my mom set me up with someone. I think he's a good match. He's a local in the capital. I'm planning to marry him. Marry him? Thinking about how Vivian was always making excuses about working late, something clicks in my mind. I can't help but give a bitter laugh. Vivian, is it just because of money? What if I had money? What if I have money too? Vivian turns to look at me, silent for a moment. Looking straight into her eyes, I realize she's no longer the girl she used to be. The way she looks at me now holds no love anymore, only impatience and irritation. Ethan, get real. Your love is so cheap compared to money. It means nothing. And even if you had money, how much could you possibly have? You'll never be able to afford an apartment in the capital in this lifetime. You're no different from those workers. Ethan, don't blame me. If you have to blame someone, blame yourself. A person has to be realistic. Listening to her words, one by one, I really feel like my life is a ridiculous farce. I slowly curl up the corner of my mouth. Fine. Break up as you wish. I hope you never regret it. I wish you happiness. Seeing me like this, Vivian gives a light sigh. Ethan, I will be happy. Don't say things in anger. From now on, you should be more realistic. Don't just believe whatever others tell you. I heard from people that your job was good. I thought you actually had a chance to stay in the capital. I was naive. Your monthly salary, no matter how you save it, will never be enough to buy a house in the capital. But I don't owe you anything. You were good to me, but I also stayed with you for quite a while. I lower my head and say nothing more. Vivian leaves right away. And in that moment, I suddenly feel that perhaps the unfortunate one isn't me, but them. Everything they want, I already have. Yet these people, the moment everything was within reach, showed their true colors. Even the heavens know they don't deserve any of it. My parents see Vivian leave without so much as a goodbye, and their faces darken instantly. What kind of person is that? No manners at all. Forget making us a meal, she didn't even acknowledge us. Ethan, a woman like that you can't marry, you hear me? Marrying her would be a curse on the family. I can't marry her now, we broke up. I say it coldly. Hearing this, my parents exchange a glance. See? You have no job, so even women look down on you. You'd better hurry back to the capital and find a good job. We still need someone to support us in our old age. Your younger brother still wants a car. If you don't go back and work hard, do you want us to suffer in our later years? I don't want to say anything more to them. I just nod. Once I'm packed, I'll head back to the capital. They nod happily. That's right. What's a young man like you doing back home? Get out there, good, get out there. Hearing this, I nearly laugh out loud in scorn. They didn't say this to my brother back then. Back then they said, Kevin, what are you going outside for? Stay at home. We've got your job, car, and house ready for you. Your elder brother will send you money every month, right? And I really did send him a fair amount every single month. The thought of it makes me curl my lips coldly. Don't worry, if you ever get another cent out of me again, I have lived this life for nothing. After returning to the capital, I hand over all my company work and resign. The company tries to keep me. They offer to sign a part-time agreement so I can help out occasionally. I agree. Our group of financially free people have a lively dinner together. Afterwards, with nothing else to do, someone suggests we start a company, do a little business. We can afford to lose anyway. It makes no difference to me, so I agree to invest. That day, the chat is pleasant enough. But when I get back home, I find my place has been completely ransacked. The whole apartment is in shambles. The couch in the living room has been dragged to the doorway. The coffee table is overturned to one side, glass shards scattered everywhere. Even the decorative paintings on the walls have been taken down. In the bedroom, the wardrobe has been turned upside down. Clothes are thrown everywhere. The bedding has been pulled off and piled on the floor. The bookshelves in the study have toppled, books and documents scattered all over. Even the toiletries in the bathroom and the pots and pans from the kitchen are gone. The curtain rods are snapped, the curtains torn away. The entire apartment is a wreck, as if it has been raided. Not a trace of daily life remains. I stand in the doorway. The buzz from drinking vanishes instantly. The blood in my veins seems to freeze. It takes me a few seconds to react. I shut the door behind me, pull out my phone, and call the police right away. My fingers are so tense they turn white. On the phone, I keep my voice as steady as I can, giving my address and explaining the state of the place. After hanging up, I call my landlord. When the landlord hears what's happened to his property, he frantically says he'll be right over. About 15 minutes later, the police arrive first. 2 officers enter with investigators. The investigators move around the apartment with their equipment, lifting fingerprints and footprints. The officers question me. They ask when I last left home, whether I noticed any suspicious people, what valuables are missing. I answer each one. I tell them I was at dinner with friends last night and only came back in the early morning. I found the door ajar, and when I came in, it was already like this. As for valuables, since I had been planning a new chapter after quitting, most of my cash and valuables are locked in the safe. The safe was tampered with but never cracked open. Instead, all the cheap everyday items have been cleaned out. The landlord arrives shortly after. The moment he sees the place, his face turns green. He points at the wreckage, unable to speak for a long while. Finally, he forces out, "What did I do to deserve this? I just finished renovating, rented it to you a few months ago and this happens?" I quickly apologize and promise to cover the damages. Only then does his face soften a little. He stands aside and cooperates with the police. The investigators work for over half an hour lifting several fingerprints from the door handle and the coffee table, and finding different shoe prints on the floor. The officers tell us they will pull the security footage from the property management, locate the suspect as soon as possible, and ask us to wait for news. They also ask me to submit a list of missing items. After the police leave, the landlord and I clean up the apartment together. Looking at the mess, the landlord grumbles while picking up glass shards, saying he's never encountered anything like this. I'm furious inside too. Something feels wrong. I haven't made enemies in the capital, who would have nothing better to do than empty out my apartment and ignore valuables to take only household items. It makes no sense. Early the next morning, the officer from the station calls me. He says they found something. Through the security footage from the property, they saw one man and two women yesterday afternoon use a key to open my door, carry down several large boxes, and drive away. Through facial recognition, they identified the woman as Vivian. The other two were probably from a moving company she hired. The officer also tells me the footage clearly shows Vivian directing the others to move things. Even the clothesline on the balcony and the toilet in the bathroom were taken apart and hauled off. Not even a kettle was left behind. Hearing the officer's words, I freeze at first, then can't help but laugh in fury. Vivian's mind is so twisted. Breaking up and then doing something like this? It truly redefines my understanding of her. The officer asks how I want to handle it. I say the apartment belongs to the landlord, and most of the items in it are his too. Let the landlord decide. I hand the phone over. The moment the landlord hears it was the tenant's girlfriend, he explodes. He says they must press charges, make Vivian pay for all the damages, and hold her legally accountable. I let the landlord handle everything. After hanging up, I just feel exhausted. How could I have fallen for a woman like that? I must have been blind. I quickly grab some personal belongings, find a nearby hotel, and book a room to stay temporarily until everything is sorted out and I find a new place. The next day, I'm catching up on sleep at the hotel. Last night, this whole mess kept me up until the early morning. I didn't sleep well. In a half-dazed state, my phone suddenly starts ringing like crazy. The ringtone is piercing, jarring in the silent room. With my eyes still closed, I fumble for the phone and answer groggily, my voice hoarse. Who is it? Ethan, are you so broke you've lost your mind? You actually called the police? Vivian's hysterical scream comes through the phone. The sound is sharp and shrill like nails on glass. Her scream makes me frown instantly. My eardrums buzz. Instinctively, I pull the phone away from my ear and glance at the screen. Sure enough, it's Vivian's number. I scoff. Anger surges up inside me. Vivian, I have to wonder if you have a brain. The apartment belongs to the landlord. The stuff inside, except for a few of my personal items, all belongs to the landlord. You just moved it all out, trashed the place, and now I'm not allowed to call the police? I lean against the headboard, my tone ice cold, dripping with mockery. Vivian's behavior is laughable and infuriating. What landlord? Those are all mine. When we were together, I made the list myself and had you buy them and replace the old ones. Those curtains, bedding, kitchenware, I picked them all. We broke up. What's wrong with me taking my own things back? What right do you have to call the police? Drop the case right now or I'm not finished with you. Listening to her, I can't help but laugh at her warped logic. Sure, she picked those things, but I paid for every single one of them. And most of them were the landlord's to begin with. She actually has the nerve to claim them as her own. Shamelessness at its peak. Fine, then go tell the officers yourself. Let's see if they buy your ridiculous story. I scoff. I don't want to waste another word on her. I hit the block button, then I block and delete her on every messaging app. I clear out every photo and chat record of Vivian from my phone. Out of sight, out of mind. Tangling with someone like her only lowers my own standards. After blocking Vivian, I try to go back to sleep, but I toss and turn. My mind is a mess. From going home to joke with my parents to discovering my parents and brother were scheming against me, to Vivian breaking up with me and emptying out my apartment. The whole string of events plays in my head like a movie. I feel how cold human hearts can be. Family and love crumble so easily in the face of profit. After calming down, I notice I'm not feeling well. All this stress recently has left me eating and sleeping irregularly. My stomach has been aching dully. Thinking I have nothing else to do anyway, I might as well go to the hospital for a full checkup for peace of mind. So I get up, wash up, get ready, and take a cab to one of the capital's top-tier hospitals. I register at the health screening department and get the full-body workup. The results take 3 days. During those 3 days, I handle the landlord situation while discussing the new company with my friends. As for the landlord, with the security footage as proof, Vivian knows she's in the wrong. In the end, she pays the landlord 20,000 yuan. That settles the matter. I hear that because of this, Vivian had a big fight with her new local boyfriend in the capital. Her boyfriend thinks she's too extreme and brainless, and has plenty of complaints about her. Hearing this fills me with satisfaction. She brought it all on herself. 3 days later, I go to the hospital to pick up my report. Looking at the results, I freeze for a moment. The report shows several polyps in my intestines. They are benign, but the doctor recommends having them removed by minimally invasive surgery as soon as possible to prevent any future complications. The doctor also tells me to watch my diet, get proper rest, and keep my mood balanced. Don't overwork, and don't get angry. Holding the report, I walk out of the hospital. Watching the crowd on the street, an idea suddenly pops into my head. An idea to make those who schemed against me pay the price. Since they care so much about profit and despise me as a burden, I might as well pretend to be in terrible health and see just how selfish they can be, and let myself cut off the last thread of attachment I have to them. First, I go to the pharmacy and buy some cold medicine and painkillers. Then I go to the hospital and get some medicine for my stomach. I deliberately peel off the labels on the bottles, leaving only the outer packaging. I have a designer friend help me forge a fake cancer diagnosis report. The report states stage 2 colon cancer, needs surgery as soon as possible, estimated cost around 300,000 yuan. Once everything is ready, I deliberately stay up for several nights to make my face look pale and gaunt. My eyes hollow, my whole self looking sickly, drained of all life. 1 month later, everything is in place. I drive back to my hometown and head straight to Kevin's rented place. It's an old rundown neighborhood. The apartment is on the 6th floor, no elevator. The hallway is piled with junk, giving off a musty smell. I push the door open. Inside, it's tiny and cramped. Less than 600 square feet, and there are 3 beds crammed in. The living room is piled with miscellaneous junk, barely any space to stand. My parents, hoping I'll still pay for Kevin's car, are willing to live in this dump. They really can put up with anything. I push the door open and step inside. My parents and Kevin are all there, gathered around the table for dinner. The 3 of them freeze for a moment, a flash of surprise crossing their faces, before quickly returning to normal. My mother sets down her chopsticks and asks with fake concern, "Ethan, what brought you back? Didn't you say you were going back to the capital to find a job?" I don't answer her. Instead, I stagger forward a few steps, grip the table for support, my body trembling slightly. My face is pale, my lips cracked. Then without a word, I start sobbing to them, my voice choking, thick with despair. "Mom, Dad, I'm sick. The company didn't fire me because of layoffs. It was because of this. I was afraid you'd worry, so I didn't dare tell you the truth. I kept it hidden." As I speak, I pull the fake diagnosis report from my bag and place it on the table, sliding it toward them. I keep my head bowed low, my shoulders shaking with sobs, looking utterly pitiful. Seeing me like this, and the report on the table, their faces twitch involuntarily. A flash of panic and disgust crosses their eyes. They exchange a glance. Then my father lets out a forced laugh, his tone holding no concern, only dismissal. "Ethan, stop joking around. You look healthy as ever. How could you possibly be sick? The hospital must have made a mistake." My mother chimes in. Yes, they must have gotten it wrong. You're so young, healthy as can be. How could you have a serious illness?" I lift my head, my expression heartbroken, my eyes red and brimming with tears. I choke out, "It came up at my checkup this year. It's colon cancer, but it hasn't reached the late stage yet. They caught it just in time. It's still treatable." I pause, then deliberately put on a hopeful expression and look at them. "Mom, Dad, I know we don't have much money right now. Things aren't easy for you, but didn't I have an apartment before? The one I prepared as my wedding home. Its market value should be over 300,000 yuan now. The doctor says with 300,000, my condition can be controlled, I can have the surgery." I finish, looking at them with eyes full of hope, hands clasped tightly together, knuckles white, like I'm grasping at the last straw. "Dad, Mom, count this as a loan. Once I get better, I'll work hard and pay you back. Kevin still has a job, doesn't he? He's been working for a while now. He must have some savings. Please help me, save me, I'm begging you, save me." Hearing this, my father panics. He picks up the diagnosis report from the table and glances at it, his hands trembling. He stammers, We have no money. Your brother, Kevin, only started working not long ago. How could he have savings? Ethan, don't panic, don't worry, Mom and Dad will help you. We'll figure something out." My mother nods along, forcing a strained smile. "Yes, Ethan, don't worry. Mom and Dad won't abandon you. We'll think of something. Their mouths say they'll help me, but their eyes dart away, not daring to meet mine. The 2 of them tell me to wait on the couch, saying they'll go into the bedroom to count how much money they have and see what they can scrape together. I watch them walk into the bedroom, one after the other. The door closes. A cold smirk curls at the corner of my lips. I stand up and quietly tiptoe to the balcony window. The bedroom window isn't fully shut. A small gap is left. The voices inside come through clearly. Sure enough, the moment they enter the bedroom, they drop the act and start scheming. My mother's voice is panicked and complaining. "What did Ethan just say? Cancer? Cancer is a bottomless pit when it comes to treatment. He still has that apartment, but he has no job now, and he has cancer. Even if he gets cured, he probably can't do heavy work. He'll never amount to anything in this life. Oh God, this apartment, even if we give it to him, it won't be enough for treatment. In the end, it'll end up with nothing, after all that effort." My father's voice is irritated and resolute, lowered. "We can't give it to him. Cancer is never easy to cure. The money will be wasted. And cancer slowly destroys the body. The whole family will be dragged down. Kevin's wedding will be ruined too. Absolutely not." My mother slowly starts to cry. Her voice holds no sadness, only fear. "Then what do we do? If we don't give it, what if he latches onto us? He's at a dead end now. He'll definitely keep clinging to us. How about taking him to a traditional doctor? It's cheaper and maybe it can be cured." My father sighs, his tone ice cold. "What traditional doctor? If even Western medicine can't handle it, what use is traditional medicine? There's no point. Think of something. Can we send him somewhere far away, let him figure it out on his own so he doesn't drag the family down? He grew up with his grandparents anyway. He's not close to us." Hearing that last sentence, my heart goes completely cold, like it's been thrown into an icebox. The chill runs from head to toe. So in their hearts, I have always been an outsider, a disposable burden. I'm sick, and instead of helping, they want to push me away and let me struggle alone. My mother stays silent for a moment. "There's no better option. You just hurt your leg a few months ago. The hospital visit cost a lot. We have basically no savings left. Where would the money for cancer treatment come from? Let him get checked in the village somewhere, just barely keep him going. Ethan has cancer. How much would that cost? We don't have the means. Don't bring up my leg. It's annoying. It's all my father's fault. He made me go work in the fields. Not only did I fall, he fell too. Now he calls me from the village whenever there's nothing going on, asking if my leg's better, if I can come back and help. Forget it, no way. At his age, he can't even take care of himself, and he's worried about others." Hearing this, my heart sinks. The blood in my veins seems to freeze. Grandpa isn't well. Not only did they not tell me, they just left him alone in the village. Even after Grandpa hurt his leg, they couldn't be bothered to care. They could even say something like that. What kind of people are they to do this? Grandpa raised me from the time I was small. He gave everything to them. and yet they can be this unfilial, this cold-blooded. I stand on the balcony shaking with rage, teeth grinding. My hands grip the railing tightly, knuckles white, fingernails digging deep into my flesh. A faint metallic taste spreads in my mouth. I never knew them well enough. Their selfishness and coldness go far beyond what I imagined. This must end now. I won't give them another chance to scheme against anyone, and I won't show them an ounce of mercy ever again. That evening, Kevin gets home from work. He pushes the door open, sees me sitting on the couch, pale and listless, and pauses for a moment. He casually asks, "Ethan, what are you doing back? Why do you look so pale?" My parents didn't expect me to wait in the living room. They never imagined I'd eavesdrop on their conversation. They quickly pull Kevin into the master bedroom, close the door, and tell him everything about my situation, including my cancer, how I want the apartment back to pay for surgery, and their plan to send me away. I'm still standing on the balcony, listening to the conversation inside. Kevin's voice carries a hint of doubt. "Ethan looks fine to me. When I left for work this morning, he was sitting in the living room. He didn't look that bad. Did they really get it wrong?" My mother's voice is sharp. "What got it wrong? The hospital issued the report. How can it be fake? Right now it doesn't matter how serious his illness is. Hurry and think of something. How do we send Ethan somewhere else, somewhere he can't come back and drag us down? Your dad's leg just cost us a lot. We have no savings left. Where would we get money for his cancer treatment? We're counting on that money for your wedding." Then my father seems to suddenly remember something. His voice turns sinister as he speaks to Kevin. "Kevin, didn't you tell me the other day about those travel tour scams that disguise themselves as overseas work programs but actually traffic people to scam compounds overseas? The kind where you never come back. Do you still have that connection?" Kevin hesitates for a moment, his voice uncertain. "There is something like that. I heard about it from a friend. They specifically target desperate people, telling them they can make a fortune overseas with food and lodging covered. But once they get there, they're held captive. They're forced into labor or scam operations. Disobey, and they get beaten. Once you go in, it's nearly impossible to escape. You can't come back." "Perfect. Your brother has cancer now. He must feel his life has no hope. We'll tell him there's an old herbalist overseas who specializes in cancer with miraculous skills. Many people have been cured. Then we sign him up for that tour. Send him over there. Once he's gone, he'll never come back. We'll be rid of this burden. His cancer could drag the whole family down to death." Suddenly, no one in the room speaks. They must be exchanging glances, weighing the pros and cons. A few minutes later, my father speaks up, his tone leaving no room for debate. "It's settled. We'll tell him it's a trip to relax his mind and to see the herbalist for treatment. We'll find that connection and book him a spot. Kevin, you handle this. Yes, make sure it's clean. Don't let him get suspicious." My mother and Kevin say nothing more. I can hear faint footsteps inside, as if they're working out the details. I stand quietly on the balcony, listening to their plan. No ripple in my heart, only endless cold. To get rid of me, this burden, they would actually lure me into a scam compound, condemn me to a living hell. These aren't family. These are simply villains plotting against me. Luckily, I gave up on them long ago, and I'm already prepared. I won't let their scheme succeed. I pull out my phone and message a friend I know. He works in security and has a few reliable brothers under him. I tell him I need him to help me put on a show tomorrow. I send him the address and ask him to bring a few brothers. "Payment is no issue," the friend replies quickly. "No problem. He'll be there first thing in the morning." After sending the message, I put my phone away and sit back on the couch. My face stays sickly, desperate, and helpless. I wait for them to come out, to see what they'll perform next. Early the next morning, as the sky is just beginning to lighten, they start their act. Kevin goes first. He walks up to me, his face showing guilt and helplessness. He sighs and pats my shoulder. "Ethan, I'm sorry. I asked around at work yesterday, but no one was willing to lend any money. Everyone's just a worker. Nobody has much in savings. Give us some time. We'll think of something. We'll ask relatives and friends. There's really not much money at home right now. We're sorry we can't do more to help you." As he speaks, he deliberately makes his eyes go red, squeezing out a few tears, looking deeply remorseful. Then my father walks over. His face shows regret and pain. He pounds his chest and says, "Ethan, blame me. It's all my fault. If I hadn't gotten involved in that stupid scheme, trying to save more money for you and Kevin, doing a little business, not only did I not make money, I lost everything we had. Now we don't have a cent at home. We can't even buy you something nice to eat. Blame me. Blame me." Finally, my mother comes over. She takes my hand, her eyes red, crying as she says, "Ethan, don't worry. We will never abandon you. Even if we have to sell every pot and pan, we'll find a way to scrape together the money for your treatment. Your dad and I talked it over. We want to first sign you up for a travel tour, somewhere to clear your head. You've been so sick lately your mood must be terrible. Going out, getting some fresh air will be good for your condition. When you get back, we'll take you to a big hospital for treatment. No matter how much money it costs, we will cure you." The three of them take turns, performing with vivid expressions and floods of tears. Anyone who didn't know better would surely be moved by their fake sincerity. Too bad I already know their plot. Looking at their hypocritical faces, I just feel sick. I say nothing, just keep my head down, pretending to look broken and hopeless, letting them believe I've fallen for their words. Just then, a loud commotion erupts at the door. Someone pounds on the door shouting, Ethan, get out here. Don't think running to the countryside will get you off the hook. We can find you anywhere in the world. Open the door, now." Then comes a violent series of bangs. The door rattles, like it could break at any moment, terrifying my parents and Kevin. The three of them go pale instantly, their performance stopping. They stare at the door in horror, not knowing what's going on. Kevin is shaking with fear, stammering as he looks at me. Ethan, you owe money. How much did you borrow? How did they track you here? As he speaks, he trembles and goes to open the door, probably afraid the door will break and he'll have to pay the landlord. The moment the door opens, 4 hulking men step inside. Each one stands over 6 feet tall, with powerful builds, grim eyes. Clearly not the kind of people you'd want to mess with. The one leading them is Bruno, my friend in security. Bruno walks in, his gaze sweeping over the 3 in the room, finally landing on me. He puts on a fierce expression and snorts coldly. Ethan, you lost your job, you got sick, and now you think you can hide? Heh, don't think running to the countryside will save you. If we couldn't find you today, who would pay your debt once your body gives out? Seeing me say nothing, and seeing these 4 imposing men, my parents are scared out of their wits. They shout, "We're calling the police! Who are you? Get out or we'll call the cops." Bruno cracks his wrist with a loud snap and grins menacingly. Call them. Go ahead, call. Let's see what the police can do. Ethan owes me a total of 1 million yuan. I've got the IOU as proof. Even the police will have to acknowledge that. As he speaks, he pulls a fake IOU from his pocket and slaps it down on the table. The number 1 million makes my parents and Kevin's legs go weak. All 3 stagger backward, barely able to stand by gripping the table. My mother points at my face and shouts furiously, "Ethan, you ungrateful son! How could you owe this much money? Have you lost your mind? Are you trying to kill us? How did we raise such a child?" My father joins in. "You ungrateful child, what were you doing out there? You borrow this much, how are we supposed to live? What sins did we commit in our past life to have a son like you?" Kevin looks at me with disgust too. "Brother, you really know how to cause trouble. 1 million yuan. Our family couldn't earn that in several generations. You're pushing us to a dead end." I put on a panicked, helpless expression and stammer, my voice choked with sobs. I didn't mean to, I wanted to buy a house in the capital. I used some for the down payment, then some on my girlfriend. Who knew the house deal would fall through? I'd lose my job and end up owing this much. I'm helpless. My father's face turns purple with rage. He raises his hand to shove me. Bruno reacts in a flash, stepping in front of me to shield me. He glares at my father and snorts coldly. "I know he's sick. If you dare lay a hand on him and something happens to him, don't think you can pin it on us and skip out on the debt." My father is frozen by Bruno's stare. His raised hand hangs in midair, not daring to come down. Bruno glances at the 3 of them and sneers. "I don't want to make a scene. After all, paying your debts is only right. I've done my research. He has an apartment under his name right around here. Handed over his payment. 1 million, that apartment is just enough to cover it. Once it's settled, this whole thing is over. Otherwise, we'll be back every single day, and you'll never have peace." My father stares at the 4 big men. The tiny apartment can barely contain them. Their presence has him shaking. He stammers, waving his hands. We don't have money. That apartment isn't his either. It's ours. It has nothing to do with him. We can't give it to you." Bruno gives a cold laugh and pulls a pre-prepared document from his pocket, slapping it on the table. "Fine. If you don't want to use the apartment to pay his debt, then sign this." He points to the document, speaking word by word. "Sign this, and you officially sever all parent-child ties with Ethan. His debt has nothing to do with you. We'll take your son with us. As for what happens to him after that, none of your business." At this, he sneers. "I'll find a way to get the money out of him myself. Even if he's sick, I have ways to make him pay." Hearing this, my parents and Kevin's eyes light up instantly, like they've grabbed onto a lifeline. A look of pure joy crosses their faces. They snatch up the pen at lightning speed and sign their names on the document to sever the parent-child relationship, pressing their fingerprints down. Their expressions show nothing but relief that such a miracle exists, that they can finally rid themselves of this burden, this dead weight. The moment they finish signing, they shove the document over as if afraid of being a second too late. My father quickly adds, "Leave now, take him away. We have nothing to do with him. Nothing at all. Don't come to us about anything involving him ever again." My mother chimes in. Yes, we severed ties with him long ago. His debt has nothing to do with us. Just take him away." Kevin looks the most relieved of all. He waves his hand. "Hurry up and go. Don't bother us again." Bruno grips the document, clenches his jaw, and says angrily, "I've never seen a family like yours. Your own son is sick, and not only do you refuse to help, you actually can't wait for something to happen to him. Fine, I'll take him away. Just don't come back regretting it later." Watching the 3 of them, so eager and cold-blooded, the last shred of hope in my heart vanishes completely. I don't look back. I don't spare them another glance. I follow Bruno and his brothers out of that disgusting place with long strides. Stepping out of the building and into Bruno's car, the atmosphere instantly relaxes. Bruno rolls down the window, his face full of indignation. "Bro, your family is something else. They've completely changed my view of humanity. These aren't your family. They're worse than strangers. Good thing you cut ties. Cutting them off completely is the right call. You'll never have to deal with them again." The other brothers nod along, saying they've never seen parents and a brother this selfish and cold-blooded, telling me to never deal with them again. I look at Bruno and his brothers with deep gratitude. I shake each of their hands, then pull out a stack of cash from my bag and hand each of them 2,000 yuan for their trouble. They wave their hands, saying we're all friends. This is nothing, no need to pay. But in the end, I force them to take it. After Bruno and his crew leave, I don't waste a second. I drive straight to Grandpa's village, my heart racing with worry. I tuck the document severing my parent-child relationship safely in my pocket. As I speed down the road, only one thought fills my mind. Find Grandpa, get him out of that place, and take him to the capital for treatment. The village roads are rough, and full of potholes. It takes me over 2 hours to arrive. I head straight to Grandpa's house. I push open the door and step inside. The yard is overgrown with weeds. It looks like no one has tended to it for a long time. Grandpa is sitting on a small stool in the yard, soaking up the sun. He looks utterly worn out, his hair gray, his back deeply hunched. His leg is wrapped in thick gauze, but the gauze has turned dark, looking inflamed. When he sees me come in, he freezes for a moment, then struggles to get up, a flash of joy on his face. "Ethan, what brought you here? Has work been tough? Why are you suddenly back?" Grandpa speaks as he tries to step down, wanting to pour me a glass of water. I quickly step forward, hold him still, and stop him from moving. Looking at how worn out he is, looking at the inflamed gauze on his leg, I hold back my tears. My throat feels blocked. I can't speak. Grandpa raised me from the time I was small. He gave me everything, and now he has ended up like this. Abandoned in the village by his own son and daughter-in-law, ignored, left with a leg injury that no one tends to. "Grandpa, please don't move. How is your leg? Why didn't you go to the hospital?" I help Grandpa sit down, my voice choked. I gently touch his leg. He winces in pain, his brow furrowing. Grandpa smiles, trying to sound casual. "It's nothing, just a little fall. I'll rest, it'll heal. No need for the hospital. Hospitals cost too much. Your parents have it hard too. I don't want to be a bother." Listening to Grandpa, my heart aches even more. He's in this state and he's still thinking about them. But them? Not a single word of concern. They even said to just leave Grandpa alone. I can't hold it in anymore. Tears spill down. I grip Grandpa's hand tightly. "Grandpa, I'm sorry. I came too late. I let you suffer. From now on, I'll never let you suffer again. Right now, I'm taking you to the capital, to the best hospital." Without another word, I pack a few of Grandpa's belongings, help him into the car, and drive straight to the capital. The whole way, Grandpa keeps asking what's wrong, if something has happened. "Nothing. I just missed you, Grandpa. I want to bring you to the capital for a few days. Spend some time with you." Once we reach the capital, I take Grandpa straight to the top-tier hospital where I had my own checkup, and book a specialist appointment in orthopedics. The doctor examines my grandpa thoroughly and says he just hurt his leg. Because it wasn't treated in time, the wound got infected, and there's a slight bone fracture. Thankfully, it's not too serious. With proper rest, care, and regular bandage changes, he'll recover soon. Hearing the doctor's words, my anxious heart finally settles. I check Grandpa in for hospital stay and hire a caregiver to look after him full time. I also buy a fully furnished apartment near the hospital so Grandpa can recover comfortably after discharge. The place is small, but cozy and warm, with all the furniture and appliances ready. While Grandpa is in the hospital, I take care of him and run our new company with my friends. The few of us pooled some money together and started a tech company in the field of artificial intelligence. We're all veterans in the industry, with resources and skills. To our surprise, the company secures a 10 million yuan investment shortly after launch. Business takes off, and orders keep pouring in. Riding the momentum, I invest in a few small projects I see potential in, some in clean energy, some in creative arts. Turns out my instincts are sharp. Several of those projects turn profitable, and the margins are impressive. Just like that, within just a few months, my assets multiply several times over. I soon buy a standalone villa in the capital, with a yard and a garden, in a beautiful neighborhood. I also use the talent recruitment program to get my permanent residency in the capital. Now I'm a true resident of the capital. Meanwhile, Grandpa's leg heals well. After discharge, I bring him to the villa to live with me. The villa has a housekeeper and a caregiver taking care of his meals and daily needs. Grandpa looks around the spacious villa, gazing at the garden in the yard, his face filled with disbelief. He grabs my hand and asks, "Ethan, this house is yours? How did you get so rich all of a sudden? You didn't do anything illegal, did you?" I smile and explain. "The company I had shares in went public. I got a payout. Then, I started a company with friends and invested in a few projects, which all made money. Every cent is legal income. Only then does Grandpa relax. He looks at me, a pleased smile spreading across his face. Well done. Our Ethan has made something of himself. Grandpa is happy for you. I'm not trying to hide the fact that I brought Grandpa to the city. I know I couldn't keep it a secret anyway. People in the village knew. Grandpa's old friends and relatives slowly started asking him about me, wondering if I had struck it rich in the capital. Grandpa doesn't hide it. He tells them honestly that I just got lucky, made some money, and asks them not to spread it around. But there's no such thing as a secret in this world. Word about me slowly gets out. I know sooner or later someone will come knocking, looking to leech off me, looking to scheme against me. I don't care at all. Come what may, I'll handle it. If they know what's good for them, they'll stay away. If they don't, I won't be polite either. But I never expected the first one to come knocking would be my ex-girlfriend Vivian. Somehow, through our mutual friends, she learned that I was financially free, that I bought a villa in the capital, got my residency, and was thriving. She starts using random unknown numbers to harass me, calling and texting nonstop, trying to get back together. One day, I'm in a meeting at the company. My phone suddenly rings. Unknown number. I pick up. Vivian's voice comes through. "Ethan, it's me, Vivian. How have you been? I was just upset that you went back home without telling me. I was just throwing a little tantrum. Why haven't you contacted me for so long? I miss you so much." Hearing her voice, I frown instantly, a wave of disgust rising in me. I say flatly, "Vivian, you broke up with me. Don't act like you have amnesia. We've been over for a long time. Don't call me again. Vivian pauses for a second. Then she starts acting coy again, her voice sickly sweet. We didn't break up. I was just, you know how girls are. Throwing a little tantrum is normal. I wasn't thinking clearly back then. It was my mom that pressured me into breaking up with you. Ethan, will you forgive me? Let's start over. I still love you. I almost laugh out loud. The nerve of this woman. When she broke up with me, she was so harsh, saying I was worth nothing. And now that she knows I have money, she wants to get back together. Does she really think I'm an idiot? Stop messing around. Tantrum? Aren't you with that boyfriend in the capital? I heard he's even a local, with a house and a car. Aren't you planning to marry him? Stop harassing me. Goodbye. I'm about to hang up when Vivian panics and shouts on the other end. Wait, Ethan, I'm not with anyone else. That guy was just someone my mom set me up with. I don't like him at all. I was just playing along with him. I recently realized the one I love most is still you. Please forgive me. I know I was wrong. No, please don't. I'm not turning back now. I must have been blind to ever fall for you. My tone is ice cold, dripping with mockery. That day, I was going to tell you I had much money. I got over 60 million yuan in dividends. I wanted to marry you, buy you a house, buy you a car so you'd never have to work hard again, just live peacefully. But you didn't want that life. You thought I was useless, not good enough for you. So what are you babbling about now? Hearing about the 60 million yuan, Vivian freezes instantly. After a few seconds, she suddenly bursts into tears, her voice thick with regret and self-pity. Ethan, I was wrong. I was really wrong. I shouldn't have been so materialistic. I shouldn't have looked down on you. That guy, he's not a good person at all. He gambles, he's drowning in debt, and he treats me terribly. Being with him makes me miserable. Ethan, save me. Please save me. I know you still have feelings for me. Will you forgive me just this once? Heh, you brought it on yourself. You get the life you deserve. Don't go dragging others down with you. I say it coldly, hang up and block her number. Vivian's crying still rings harshly in my ears. The mess she's in now, she chose it herself, no one else to blame. She failed to see who I really was. I thought blocking Vivian would end the harassment, but just a few days later, Vivian's mother actually calls me. On the other end, Mrs. Carter's voice carries a hint of apology and pleading. Ethan, it's all my fault. Blame me. I was the one who forced Vivian to break up with you, who forced her to be with that other man. Vivian's life is miserable now. That man bullies her. Please forgive her, let her come back to you. She knows she was wrong. Mrs. Carter, I remember when I visited your home back then, that's not what you said. My tone turns icy. I remember the scene at the Carter house, and a wave of resentment rises. You said I was from some small town. I was useless, not good enough for your Vivian. You threw out the gifts I carefully prepared, told me to leave, said I'd never amount to anything in this life, that I'd never afford a place in the capital, and said if I couldn't save up 2 million yuan, I had no right to propose. Have you forgotten all that? I remember it clearly. I remember their faces back then. Mr. Carter sat on the couch, not even sparing me a glance. Mrs. Carter was full of arrogance, tearing me down completely. Vivian stood to the side, silent, quietly approving of her parents. I should have seen their true colors then, but I was blinded by love at the time. I thought if I just worked hard enough, they'd come to accept me. Mrs. Carter pauses on the other end. My words leave her speechless. After a few seconds, she finally chokes out. That was just a moment of foolishness on my part. I failed to see your worth. Ethan, please be the bigger person. Don't stoop to our level. Vivian knows she was wrong. She still loves you. Please forgive her. She's just a girl. Finding the right person isn't easy. Take pity on her, please. Hearing this, I just laugh outright. So in their eyes, I'm just a sucker, someone with money who's easy to push around. Their daughter has a bad time, and they want to dump her back on me to clean up the mess? When was the world ever that convenient? Mrs. Carter, I'm sorry. I'm a rich man now too, so I don't think much of your Vivian anymore. She's not good enough for me. Goodbye. I finish and hang up immediately. I block Mrs. Carter's number too, and set my phone to filter out all unknown numbers. Out of sight, out of mind. I don't want anything more to do with that family. Their true faces are simply too ugly. The days pass one by one. I manage the company's business and spend time with Grandpa. The business keeps growing, my wealth keeps growing, and Grandpa's health gets better and better. Every day he plants flowers in the villa's yard, raises some birds, chats with the next-door neighbor, and does square dancing with Grandma Mitchell from next door. His days are leisurely and pleasant. Seeing Grandpa so happy fills my heart with satisfaction. This is the life I want. Simple and happy. One day, the weather is beautiful, the sun shining bright. Grandpa and I are planting vegetables in the villa's yard. There's an empty patch in the yard that I turned into a small garden. We planted greens, cucumbers, and tomatoes, all things Grandpa loves. After all, growing our own vegetables means peace of mind, and it's good exercise too. I used to hate this kind of farm work, but now, planting with Grandpa, turning the soil, sowing the seeds, watering the plants, I find it so peaceful. It feels like a sense of belonging carved into my bones. The moment my hands touch the earth, my heart feels grounded. I'm crouched in the dirt, setting up a trellis for the cucumber sprouts. Grandpa goes inside to get water, saying he wants to water the seedlings. Just then, a car horn suddenly blares at the gate. Someone bangs hard on the yard gate, shouting, Ethan, Ethan, open up! It's your mom and dad and your brother. We came to see you. Hearing those familiar, disgusting voices, my hands freeze. I frown. Without even thinking, I know they must have heard that I struck it rich in the capital, bought a villa, got my residency, and came knocking to leech off me, like a ghost that won't go away. I stand up, brush the dirt off my hands, walk to the gate, and open it. Mom, Dad, and Kevin are standing there, dressed in brand new clothes, holding some cheap fruit and milk. The moment they see me, fawning smiles spread across all three faces. Kevin speaks first, and unbelievably, his opening line is an accusation with a hint of complaint. Ethan, what's the point of lying to us? Family shouldn't play games like this. Look at you, with a standalone villa in Capital, a yard this big, a house this beautiful. Aren't you going to invite Mom, Dad, and me inside? Look how worried you've got Mom and Dad. The moment they heard you struck it rich in the Capital, they rushed over overnight. The trip was rough. They're exhausted. Looking at Kevin's nothing happened, completely entitled attitude, I have to admire how shameless he can be. As if all those schemes, as if trying to traffic me to a scam compound overseas, never happened. I wipe the dirt off my hands and say coldly, Kevin, did you forget? Didn't you all already sever the parent-child relationship with me? You signed that document with your own hands, pressed your fingerprints on it. What's this? Heard I have money, and now you want to come grab some for yourselves? Hearing my blunt words, Kevin's smile freezes instantly. He frowns and shouts, Ethan, so what if you have money? Can't you talk like a normal person? It's just a few filthy money. Why act so high and mighty? Talk to me like a person? Do you even deserve that? My voice is ice cold, my eyes full of mockery. That apartment I bought as my wedding home. It's under your name now, isn't it? That apartment I worked 8 years to save up for. The one you tricked me out of. Return my property first, then we'll talk. The moment I say this, the three of them freeze. A flash of panic crosses their eyes. Dad stammers, How did you know? We were so careful. How could you know the apartment was transferred to Kevin? I toss the dirty napkin aside and snap back. I knew from the very beginning. I was just trying to play a joke on you, and I never imagined you'd have no family feeling for me at all, and would even try to traffic me overseas, push me into a death trap. For a moment, my father looks guilty. Then he suddenly straightens his back and shouts, So what if we schemed against you? You're our son. Kevin is your younger brother, supporting us, spending money on us. That's just what you're supposed to do. Their shameless attitude makes me laugh in fury. What absolute nonsense. Not 1 cent. I will never give you another cent. We have no relationship anymore. Get out, or I'm calling the police. My parents immediately start wailing at my doorstep. Oh heavens, there's no justice in this world. Our elder son has no respect for his parents. He has money but won't support us in our old age. He doesn't care if his parents live or die. What an ungrateful son. Listening to them wail, I cover my ears. Who are you two? I don't have parents. The severance document is still in my hands. Don't you have a son? Look, Kevin, hurry. Why are you letting your parents cry this hard? How can you be so thoughtless? Hearing me, my father gets so angry he tries to lunge forward and shove me. I grab his wrist midair. What, you want to hit me? Do you even deserve to touch me? Grandpa got hurt and you ignored him, left him to suffer. And me? I just made a joke and you transferred my apartment to Kevin, terrified I might spend a single cent of yours. I said I was sick and you actually plotted to traffic me to a scam compound overseas. What kind of parents do this? Aren't you afraid of bad karma? At this, I laugh out loud. Funny thing is, I just wanted to play a joke on you. The heavens see everything we do. Even heaven knows you don't deserve it. Back then I was planning to buy you a villa, a mansion, a car, and give each of you several million yuan for retirement. Hearing the commotion, Grandpa comes out leaning on his cane, furious. This is too much. I'm your father. You tell me, what does it mean to honor your parents? Ethan has been on his own all these years and you? Selfish to the core, even trying to harm him. That apartment of his is worth a lot. Giving it to you was already more than you deserved. What else do you want? You dare to lecture Ethan about being a good son? Come, tell me, how have you been good children? Ethan spent hundreds of thousands of yuan on my medical bills. You owe him every single cent. Then Grandpa turns and goes straight to the flower bed, picks up a flower pot, and hurls it at them. The three of them instantly stumble back in shock. Seeing Grandpa worked up enough to actually hit them, they turn and run for the car. Dad, don't get worked up. Grandpa, it's me, Kevin. You're all so ungrateful. I help Grandpa steady himself, telling him not to get so worked up that he might hurt himself. Watching them get chased off, Grandpa snorts without a care. I saw through these people long ago. I'm not worked up. This little outburst is nothing compared to the workout I get square dancing with Mitchell next door. Ethan, don't worry. These people just needed a lesson. Come, let's go inside. Grandpa will make your favorite sugar pancakes. I smile and help Grandpa walk inside. My work is mostly handled now, and Grandpa is getting old. I decide to take him traveling. He worked so hard for me in his younger years, and after I started working, I couldn't always be by his side. Now I have the time. Some people simply aren't worth my time and energy anymore. I act on it without delay. I plan the trip, and Grandpa and I set off to explore the beautiful landscapes of our homeland.